Skote Outdoors began as a small but passionate endeavor in the outdoor gear industry. It quickly became a shining beacon for nature lovers and adventure seekers, known not only for its high-quality products but for the genuine community it built. The brand didn't just offer equipment. It connected with its customers in a way few others did, sparking a loyal following among hikers, campers, and adventurers from all walks of life. Whether it was their innovative tents that promised shelter from the harshest conditions, or their durable backpacks that stood the test of time, Skote Outdoors was more than just a company. It was a symbol of the spirit of adventure. As the brand gained recognition, it seemed unstoppable. Fans shared stories of their epic outdoor adventures, proudly using Skote gear, making it a household name among outdoor enthusiasts. But in a world where success can be as fleeting as the next trail, Skote Outdoors' rise would soon be overshadowed by an unforeseen event, one that would leave its once unstoppable momentum in ruins. What started as an inspiring success story would quickly spiral into one of the most heartbreaking tragedies in the outdoor industry. And why did it all go so wrong? The story of Skote Outdoors begins with a shared passion for the wild, a deep-rooted love for the outdoors that drove a small group of enthusiasts to create something truly special. They wanted to build more than just a brand. They wanted to create gear that would allow fellow adventurers to experience nature in its most raw, untamed form. Each product was designed with one purpose: to enhance the journey, not hinder it. Founded by a group of visionary outdoor lovers, Skote Outdoors was built on the idea that everyone deserves the chance to embrace the wilderness without worry. They believed that adventure shouldn't be limited by subpar gear, and so they dedicated themselves to crafting products that could withstand the harshest elements, from rugged mountains to deep forests, ensuring that nature's beauty could be experienced to the fullest. Their mission was simple but profound: to create durable, reliable outdoor equipment while fostering a community centered on environmental stewardship and exploration. This mission quickly resonated with like-minded individuals who shared their passion. And in just a few short years, Skote Outdoors had become more than a company. It was a movement, a beacon for those who felt the call of the wild. But what was it that truly set Skote Outdoors apart from the rest? What made its message and products resonate so deeply with its growing community? And was this sense of connection, so vital to its success, somehow linked to its ultimate downfall? At its peak, Skote Outdoors wasn't just a brand. It became a symbol of outdoor exploration and adventure. The company launched groundbreaking products that quickly became indispensable for anyone serious about venturing into the wild. From weather-resistant tents to high-tech hiking gear, Skote Outdoors had everything a passionate adventurer could need. What set the brand apart was not just the functionality of its products, but the spirit of the outdoors it embodied. Through strategic partnerships with influential outdoor athletes, social media influencers, and environmental organizations, Skote Outdoors skyrocketed into the spotlight. Their products were not just tools. They were an invitation to live a life of adventure, freedom, and connection with nature. As influencers and adventurers proudly showcased their Skote gear in remote locations, the brand's popularity grew exponentially, making it a household name in the outdoor community. But Skote Outdoors was more than just gear. It was a lifestyle. Customers didn't just buy products. They became part of a movement that celebrated the beauty of the natural world and the thrill of outdoor exploration. The brand's mission to connect people to nature forged a deep bond with its audience, creating a loyal following of passionate outdoor enthusiasts who saw Skote not only as a brand but as a way of life. The downfall of Skote Outdoors didn't happen overnight. It began quietly, with barely a whisper, almost as if the company's once solid foundation was cracking beneath the surface. Unnoticed by most, it started with murmurs about a significant issue involving one of their most popular products, a high-performance tent that had become a customer favorite for its reliability and durability. Reports surfaced suggesting that under certain conditions, extreme weather or high winds, the tent would collapse, posing a serious safety risk to those relying on it in harsh environments. At first, the issue was framed as a minor recall, a simple precautionary step, but behind the scenes, the situation quickly spiraled. What seemed like a small problem soon gained traction, and the once strong reputation of Skote Outdoors began to unravel.
Rumors began to spread, and whispers turned into concerns about potential systemic flaws in the company's quality control. What had been a trusted brand in the outdoor community was now facing accusations of negligence. Customers who had spent years relying on the brand's promise of safety and quality suddenly felt betrayed. left to wonder how such a beloved company could allow such an oversight. As the issue escalated, reports surfaced of internal management struggles, lack of proper oversight, and miscommunication, adding fuel to the fire. The company's leadership tried to downplay the situation, but the damage was already done. What seemed like a minor setback would soon prove to be just the tip of the iceberg, as more and more issues began to surface, revealing deep-rooted problems that would threaten the very existence of Skote Outdoors. The cracks in the company's reputation were just the beginning. Soon the entire foundation would begin to crumble. No one saw it coming. Skote Outdoors, a brand praised for its reliability and trusted by thousands of adventurers, suddenly found itself at the heart of a nightmare. What began as a routine hiking trip for a group of seasoned explorers turned into a near-death experience that shocked the outdoor community. The group had relied on one of Skote's top-rated products, gear that was marketed as virtually fail-proof. But somewhere deep in the wilderness, in conditions that tested every ounce of their survival skills, the product catastrophically failed. The result? Severe injuries, a desperate emergency rescue, and a flood of questions that no one could immediately answer. Media outlets picked up the story within hours. Headlines labeled it a betrayal of trust. For years, Skote had been more than a brand. It was a symbol of safety, of adventure done right. But this single horrifying incident shattered that image in an instant. Worse still, early investigations revealed something chilling. The defect that caused the failure wasn't just a freak accident. It was a flaw that had somehow slipped through the cracks of Skote's testing process. How did something so dangerous make it to market? And more importantly, what else might be hiding beneath the surface? As the story spread like wildfire, Skote Outdoors faced a level of public backlash that few brands could survive. The company issued formal apologies, expressed deep regret, and pledged to cooperate fully with authorities and the victims' families. But for many, the statements felt hollow. News segments replayed harrowing footage of the rescue mission, while viral posts speculated on deeper issues inside the company. Corners cut, safety tests rushed, warnings ignored. Behind the scenes, Skote was unraveling. Internal memos leaked to the press hinted at prior concerns about the product's durability, concerns that may have been overlooked in a rush to meet holiday demand. Employees, many of whom had built careers believing in the brand's mission, were stunned. Morale plummeted, investors pulled back, retailers began quietly pulling Skote products from shelves. The company, once admired for its transparency and rugged authenticity, now found itself facing lawsuits, investigations, and the unforgiving judgment of the public. The damage wasn't just reputational, it was deeply personal. People no longer felt safe with Skote gear in their backpacks, and that kind of trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to rebuild. With its future hanging by a thread, Skote Outdoors scrambled to survive. The board replaced its top leadership, hoping fresh faces might restore public confidence. A new safety task force was launched, product lines were put on hold, and engineers were tasked with tearing every design apart from the inside out. The company even unveiled a bold rebranding campaign, complete with new logos, slogans, and a tearful commercial promising, "We hear you, we're starting over." But the wounds were still fresh, and not everyone was ready to forgive. Sales plummeted, former brand ambassadors quietly cut ties. Online communities once filled with Skote enthusiasts turned into echo chambers of doubt, speculation, and frustration. Internally, disagreements about how to move forward created chaos. Some wanted to scale down and focus on core values, while others pushed for aggressive growth to outrun the scandal. In the end, every recovery attempt felt like a bandage on a bullet wound. The deeper issue wasn't just a defective product, it was the shattered belief that Skote was different, that it stood for something more than profits. And once that belief was gone, the company found itself in a fight not just for relevance, but for survival. The response from the public was anything but simple. In the days following the tragedy, emotions ran high, and the internet exploded. Some longtime fans of Skote Outdoors, people who had followed the brand from its humble beginnings, came out in full support. They posted heartfelt messages, defended the company in comment sections, and even organized fundraisers for the victims involved in the incident. But not everyone was so forgiving. On platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, the backlash was fierce. Outraged customers posted photos of torn gear and unfulfilled orders. Influencers who once promoted Skote Outdoors turned their backs, deleting sponsored posts and publicly distancing themselves from the brand. Major news outlets published scathing headlines asking how a trusted name in outdoor safety could have failed so catastrophically. Even more damaging, Skote's competitors seized the opportunity. Rival companies launched aggressive ad campaigns that didn't mention Skote by name but made clear jabs, emphasizing their commitment to safety, durability, and accountability. The brand was suddenly no longer an industry darling. It was a business school case study in reputation collapse. But the real question everyone was asking was, could Skote Outdoors survive this storm? The answer, tragically, was no. Despite emergency board meetings, crisis PR efforts, and attempts at corporate restructuring, Skote Outdoors couldn't shake the shadow of the incident. Sales plummeted. Retailers began pulling Skote products from shelves. Investor confidence disappeared overnight, and whispers of bankruptcy became reality in just a few short months. Layoffs followed. Entire teams were dissolved. People who had poured their hearts into building the company from the ground up were suddenly left jobless. For customers, the collapse felt personal. This wasn't just another business going under. It was a brand they had camped with, climbed with, trusted in moments when survival mattered. And now it was gone. The website eventually went dark. The once active social media pages fell silent. In the outdoor community, Skote's disappearance left a hole, an eerie reminder of how quickly things can fall apart when a single mistake meets a perfect storm. And perhaps most haunting of all, the fact that Skote Outdoors never got a chance to tell their side of the full story. Today, the name Skote Outdoors sparks a mixture of nostalgia and sorrow. For some, it recalls the early days of adventurous freedom, when the brand felt like a trusted companion on every trail. For others, it's a sobering reminder of how even the most beloved companies can fall victim to oversight, pressure, and tragedy. Industry experts still talk about the Skote collapse in marketing panels and product safety conferences, using it as a case study in what not to do. But behind the business analysis and headlines are real people. Founders who believed in their mission, employees who lost their livelihoods, and customers whose trust was shattered. The tragedy of Skote Outdoors wasn't just in the financial loss, it was in the dreams that went unrealized. And yet, their story serves a purpose. It stands as a cautionary tale that continues to echo through boardrooms, design labs, and entrepreneurial circles. Never take your community's trust for granted, because once it's broken, there might be no second chance.